The U.S. continues to move military assets in the direction of Iran. The most prominent of these is the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group with its onboard fighter jets and the missile ships that will be accompanying this. This is very heavy American firepower that, once it's positioned, will boost America's offensive and, I believe, also defensive capabilities, because there are also ships there that can take part in air defenses. And of course, we know that from the Iran war, the Americans are also able to take part from Israeli soil. They're able to launch their own THAAD systems in support of Israeli air defenses, the Arrow systems, in the event of any Iranian counterattack that would target Israel, which I have to say is far from clear would even happen in the event of an American attack on Iran. It's far from clear that the Iranians would even be interested in dragging us into that. But of course, militaries have to plan for every contingency. And I think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing the Pentagon and the U.S. military and CENTCOM basically telling President Trump, look, if you act, before you act, you've got to have the pieces set up. We can't just send the B-2s immediately from the U.S. mainland, because the Iranians do still have probably around half of their missile arsenal from what they had before the June war. And, according to estimates, Israel was able to destroy, say, about 2/3 of their missile launchers, which is just as important as the missile itself. So they do have a bottleneck, but they've still got the ability to fire heavy volleys of missiles. And those can be directed at U.S. bases. Those can be directed at U.S. sites all over the Middle East, which is why, the neighbors of Iran became nervous and made it known publicly that they were trying to restrain the United States. When those messages came out, the target audience is, of course, the Islamic Republic of Iran, trying to tell Tehran, look, if you do get into a confrontation with the United States, know that we try to avoid it. You're seeing everybody cover themselves here. At the end of the day, in a few days, within about 5 days or so, the Carrier Strike Group will be in the region, will be positioned. The other ships and various other systems will be positioned. And then President Trump will have to make a decision. And I think, this is as much a political decision as it is a security or a strategic one. I'm sure that Yaki will have interesting insights about what goes through the mind of President Trump during a moment like this. But I think he's sort of caught, between two paradoxes. He doesn't want to go down as sort of another Obama, somebody who made a threat and then walked it back. But he also, I think, doesn't want to get caught in some sort of lengthy missile war with Iran after an intervention in Venezuela, after a previous intervention in Iran. He still, I think, got some pressure from the MAGA isolationists not to get into too many adventures. So how is he going to do this? And the Iranians, of course, are aware of these paradoxical considerations, and they're making it clear that they're going to respond. And what they're actually going to do after an attack is anybody's guess, because they are a wounded animal. It's very hard to predict what a wounded animal will do if it's attacked.